Tariffs and trade deficits are crucial topics in today's global economy, impacting both consumers and businesses alike. Understanding tariffs, taxes imposed on imported goods, helps us grasp how they influence prices, domestic production, and international trade relationships. By examining these tariffs, we can better appreciate their role in shaping economic policies and the broader implications for trade balances. Viewers will learn about trade deficits, which occur when a country imports more than it exports, and trade surpluses, where exports exceed imports. These concepts are essential for understanding a nation's economic health and its position in the global market. The discussion will delve into how trade deficits can affect currency values, employment rates, and overall economic growth, while surpluses may indicate a competitive advantage in certain industries. Additionally, we will explore the relevance of current events and notable figures in the realm of trade. For instance, Mark Cuban, a prominent entrepreneur and investor, has voiced his opinions on tariffs and their impact on American businesses, emphasizing the need for strategic trade policies. Similarly, former President Donald Trump made headlines with his administration's approach to tariffs, particularly regarding China, which sparked debates about protectionism and its effects on trade deficits. By analyzing these perspectives, viewers will gain insights into the ongoing discussions surrounding tariffs and trade relationships, as well as their implications for the economy. This understanding is vital, especially in a world where trade dynamics are constantly evolving, influenced by political decisions and global events. Ultimately, this exploration of tariffs and trade deficits will equip viewers with the knowledge to navigate the complexities of international trade and its significance in their daily lives. Tariffs are taxes imposed by governments on imported goods, serving as a tool to regulate international trade. They function by increasing the cost of foreign products, making them less competitive compared to domestic goods. This can encourage consumers to buy locally produced items, thereby supporting domestic industries. However, while tariffs can protect local jobs and businesses, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers and potential retaliation from trading partners, creating a complex web of economic implications. Historically, tariffs have played a significant role in shaping trade policies. In the early days of international commerce, countries relied heavily on tariffs to generate revenue and protect nascent industries. Over time, the evolution of global trade agreements and organizations, such as the World Trade Organization, WTO, has aimed to reduce tariffs and promote free trade. However, recent trends have seen a resurgence in protectionist measures as nations grapple with the challenges of globalization and economic inequality. Understanding tariffs also involves recognizing the concepts of trade deficits and surpluses. A trade deficit occurs when a country imports more than it exports, leading to an outflow of domestic currency. For example, if the United States imports a significant amount of electronics from Japan while exporting fewer goods in return, it creates a trade deficit with Japan. Conversely, a trade surplus happens when a country exports more than it imports, as seen in Germany's strong automotive industry, which exports a large volume of vehicles worldwide. These trade balances are crucial indicators of economic health and competitiveness. By examining tariffs and their implications, along with the dynamics of trade deficits and surpluses, we can better understand the intricate relationships between nations in the global marketplace and the economic strategies that shape our world today. To understand trade deficits, we can use a referral analogy that simplifies the concept of international trade relationships. Imagine a referral system where businesses recommend clients to one another. In this scenario, if a local bakery frequently sends customers to a nearby coffee shop but receives very few customers in return, we can say that the bakery has a referral deficit with the coffee shop. This situation mirrors how trade deficits work between countries. When one country imports more goods and services than it exports, it creates a similar imbalance in trade relationships. For instance, if the United States imports a large volume of electronics from South Korea, but exports only a small amount of agricultural products in return, it results in a trade deficit with South Korea. This analogy helps illustrate the dynamics of trade deficits in a relatable way. Just as the bakery may feel the impact of sending more customers than it receives, potentially affecting its revenue and growth, countries with trade deficits may experience economic challenges. They are essentially spending more on foreign goods than they are earning from exports, which can lead to increased debt and reliance on other nations. Moreover, just as the bakery might seek to improve its referral balance by promoting its own products or collaborating with the coffee shop, countries facing trade deficits often look for ways to boost exports or reduce imports. They may implement tariffs or negotiate trade agreements to encourage domestic production and create a more balanced trade relationship. By using this referral analogy, viewers can grasp the concept of trade deficits without needing a deep understanding of economics. It highlights the importance of reciprocity in trade, illustrating how countries, like businesses, thrive on balanced relationships to ensure mutual benefit and economic stability. The current trade deficit of the United States has become a focal point in discussions about the nation's economic health. As of recent statistics, the U.S. trade deficit stands at approximately $70 billion per month, reflecting a significant imbalance between imports and exports. This figure places the United States among the countries with the largest trade deficits globally, surpassing nations like the United Kingdom and Canada. In contrast, several countries maintain substantial trade surpluses, with China being the most notable example. In 2022, China reported a trade surplus of around $877 billion, largely due to its robust manufacturing sector and exports of electronics, machinery, and consumer goods to the U.S. The implications of these trade deficits on the U.S. economy are multifaceted. A persistent trade deficit can lead to increased foreign debt as the country borrows to finance its imports. This situation may weaken the U.S. dollar over time, making imports more expensive and potentially leading to inflation. Additionally, a significant trade deficit can impact domestic industries, particularly manufacturing, as companies may struggle to compete with cheaper foreign goods. This competition can result in job losses and a decline in certain sectors, contributing to economic inequality. Moreover, the trade deficit raises concerns about the U.S. reliance on foreign goods and the potential vulnerability it creates in times of geopolitical tension or economic downturns. Policymakers often debate the best strategies to address these deficits, including tariffs, trade agreements, and incentives for domestic production. Ultimately, understanding the current trade deficit of the United States, particularly in relation to countries like China, is essential for grasping the broader economic landscape. It highlights the challenges and opportunities that arise from global trade dynamics and underscores the importance of fostering balanced trade relationships to ensure long-term economic stability and growth. China's position in global trade surpluses is a critical aspect of the international economic landscape, particularly in its relationship with the United States. As of recent reports, China boasts a staggering trade surplus, exceeding $877 billion, primarily driven by its manufacturing capabilities and exports of electronics, machinery, and consumer goods. This significant surplus has profound implications for the U.S. economy, as it reflects an ongoing imbalance in trade that has persisted for years. The U.S. imports a vast array of products from China, which has led to concerns about dependency on foreign goods and the potential erosion of domestic manufacturing jobs. The trade relationship between the U.S. and China is complex and multifaceted. While the U.S. benefits from access to affordable goods, the trade deficit has raised alarms about the long-term sustainability of this arrangement. American manufacturers often struggle to compete with the lower prices of Chinese products, leading to job losses in certain sectors. Additionally, the trade imbalance has fueled political tensions, with calls for tariffs and trade policies aimed at reducing the deficit. The U.S. government has sought to negotiate trade agreements that promote fairer practices and address issues such as intellectual property theft and currency manipulation. Addressing trade imbalances is strategically important for both nations. For the U.S., reducing the trade deficit with China could enhance economic stability and foster job creation in domestic industries. It would also mitigate the risks associated with over-reliance on imports. For China, maintaining a trade surplus is vital for its economic growth, as it supports domestic production and employment. However, an excessive surplus can lead to international criticism and calls for reform in trade practices. In conclusion, analyzing China's position in global trade surpluses reveals the intricate dynamics of U.S.-China trade relations. Understanding these imbalances is essential for developing strategies that promote equitable trade practices, ensuring mutual benefits for both economies while fostering a more stable global economic environment. Negotiation plays a pivotal role in shaping trade agreements, influencing how countries interact and establish economic relationships. One of the key elements in these negotiations is the use of tariffs as a bargaining tool. Tariffs, which are taxes imposed on imported goods, can be strategically employed to gain concessions from trading partners. For instance, a country may threaten to increase tariffs on specific imports to pressure another nation into lowering its own tariffs or addressing trade imbalances. This tactic can create a leverage point, allowing negotiators to push for more favorable terms in trade agreements. Leverage is crucial in trade negotiations, as it determines the power dynamics between countries. A nation with a strong economy, significant market size, or essential resources often holds more leverage, enabling it to negotiate better terms. Conversely, countries that rely heavily on exports to a particular market may find themselves at a disadvantage, as they may be more willing to concede to avoid losing access to that market. This interplay of power can significantly impact the outcomes of negotiations, shaping the final agreements and their implications for both parties. Historical examples illustrate the importance of negotiation in trade agreements. The North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, established in 1994, involved extensive negotiations between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The U.S. leveraged its economic power to secure provisions that favored American industries, resulting in a complex agreement that reshaped trade in North America. More recently, the U.S.-China trade negotiations highlighted the use of tariffs as a negotiation tool. The U.S. imposed tariffs on Chinese goods to address trade imbalances and intellectual property concerns, leading to a series of negotiations that aim to reach a more equitable trade relationship. In conclusion, negotiation is essential in trade agreements, with tariffs serving as a powerful tool to influence outcomes. The importance of leverage cannot be overstated, as it shapes the dynamics of negotiations and ultimately determines the success of trade agreements. Understanding these elements is vital for comprehending the complexities of international trade relations. The historical context of tariffs and trade policies reveals a complex evolution influenced by economic theories and practical needs. Adam Smith, often regarded as the father of modern economics, advocated for free trade in his seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776. Smith argued that tariffs hindered economic growth by distorting market prices and limiting competition. He believed that free trade would lead to greater efficiency and wealth creation, allowing countries to specialize in producing goods where they held a comparative advantage. Despite Smith's views, tariffs have been a prevalent tool in trade policy throughout history. From the Roman Empire to modern times, tariffs have played a significant role in shaping economic interactions. In ancient Rome, tariffs were used to generate revenue for the state and regulate trade with conquered territories. As nations evolved, so did their approach to tariffs. During the Middle Ages, European countries imposed tariffs to protect local industries from foreign competition, laying the groundwork for modern protectionist policies. The mercantilist era, which dominated the 16th to 18th centuries, saw countries using tariffs extensively to accumulate wealth and maintain favorable trade balances. In the United States, tariffs were employed as a means to protect burgeoning domestic industries during the 19th century. The Tariff of 1816, for example, was designed to shield American manufacturers from British imports, fostering the growth of local industries. This protective approach continued throughout the Industrial Revolution, as tariffs were seen as essential for nurturing domestic production and ensuring economic independence. However, the use of tariffs has often sparked debates about their long-term effects on consumers and the economy. In modern times, the role of tariffs remains contentious. While some argue that they are necessary for protecting domestic jobs and industries, others contend that they lead to higher prices for consumers and retaliatory measures from trading partners. Understanding the historical context of tariffs and trade policies provides valuable insights into the ongoing discussions surrounding international trade and economic strategy today. The decline of the U.S. steel industry is a significant chapter in the narrative of American manufacturing, marked by dramatic shifts in employment and global competition. In the 1950s, the steel industry employed over 600,000 workers, contributing substantially to the economy and providing stable jobs for many families. However, by the early 2000s, employment in the steel sector had plummeted to around 140,000, reflecting a staggering loss of jobs and a shift in the industrial landscape. This decline can be attributed to various factors, including technological advancements, changes in consumer demand, and notably, increased global competition. The impact of global competition on U.S. steel producers has been profound. As countries like China ramped up their steel production, often benefiting from lower labor costs and government subsidies, American steel manufacturers found it increasingly difficult to compete. By the mid-2000s, China had become the world's largest steel producer, flooding the market with inexpensive steel, which led to a significant drop in prices. This influx of foreign steel not only eroded the market share of U.S. producers, but also forced many domestic mills to close, further exacerbating job losses and economic decline in steel-producing regions. The importance of protecting domestic industries, particularly in the context of the steel industry, cannot be overstated. Advocates for protectionist measures argue that a robust domestic steel industry is vital for national security, as steel is essential for infrastructure, defense, and manufacturing. Without a strong domestic base, the U.S. risks becoming overly reliant on foreign sources for critical materials, which can pose risks during geopolitical tensions or economic downturns. In response to these challenges, various measures have been proposed, including tariffs and trade policies aimed at leveling the playing field for U.S. steel producers. The decline of the U.S. steel industry serves as a cautionary tale about the complexities of global trade and the need for strategic policies that support domestic industries while fostering fair competition in the global marketplace. In summary, the video has highlighted several key points regarding the significance of understanding tariffs and trade deficits in today's global economy. We discussed how tariffs serve as a critical tool in international trade, influencing prices, domestic production, and the overall balance of trade between nations. Understanding these concepts is essential for grasping the complexities of economic relationships and the implications they have on both consumers and businesses. We also explored the dynamics of trade deficits, particularly how they can affect a country's economic health and its position in the global market. Moreover, the video emphasized the historical context of tariffs and trade policies, illustrating how they have evolved over time and their impact on domestic industries, such as the U.S. steel sector. By examining these elements, viewers can appreciate the intricate interplay between global trade dynamics and national economic strategies. We encourage you to engage with the content by liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more insightful discussions on economic topics. Your support helps us continue to provide valuable information and analysis. Additionally, we invite you to explore our related videos, which delve deeper into subjects such as trade agreements, the role of negotiation in trade, and the implications of global competition on various industries. By expanding your knowledge on these topics, you can better understand the forces shaping our economy and the strategies that nations employ to navigate the complexities of international trade. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our future videos as we continue to explore the fascinating world of economics and trade.